Hey everyone, welcome back to YAJE'S garden. Today I'm going to take you on a tour around somebody's garden in San Antonio, Texas. There are a couple of cool things that I found in this garden and I thought I should share with you. So let's take a tour and find out what is going on in this garden. Alright guys, so this is an overview of the garden. As you can see, they have a big bed leaning against the fence, but there are a couple of very interesting things that I'm going to share with you about this bed right here, while I also show you what they have going on. And then if I turn around this way, you would see they have fruit trees. They have planted some fruit trees, so they're trying to create an orchard over here. And then there is another bed right here against the house, leaning against the wall of the house. So let's start right here with the bed, the layout of the bed. Okay, so the bed is leaning against the fence, as you can see, and the width of the bed is very wide. It's really wide, which can cause a problem, because if I'm right here and I try to harvest something from that end, you can see my hand cannot reach all the way to the fence. So they solved that problem by doing something really interesting. Let's take a look what they did. So they divided that bed into two, and they put a little walkway, a little path between the two beds. That way they can reach this side and then that side easily. So I thought this was quite cool, and I wanted to share that with you. If you make a wide bed, you can create this path in between. That way you're not stepping on your plants. The second cool thing that I thought was really genius is this right here. This barrier that they put here, it is plastic, and they just screwed that on the fence. When you're doing backyard gardening and you have your bed leaning against the fence like this, and this is wood, because you'll be watering the garden and you have soil touching the fence, the wood at the bottom can start to rot. So they got around that problem by putting this barrier here, which is waterproof. This really makes a lot of sense. I think I'm gonna be copying this. They have that all along the fence where they have the garden bed. I think that is quite cool. And guys, the third thing that I noticed that I think is quite cool is this heap of grass. So every time they cut the grass, they don't throw away the grass clippings. They pile that here. It is composting. But what they're also using that pile of grass to do is to mulch the vegetables. Let me show you what they've done with that. That is quite visible over here. You see, that is that pile of grass they've used as mulch. It's going to prevent weed. It's going to keep the soil cool when it's hot, and then it's going to eventually decompose and become manure for the garden. So that makes a lot of sense. Something I think is worth copying. All right, now let's find out what is growing in the bed. If you have not already noticed, they have mixed cropping. So on this bed, we have a variety of vegetables. This is that garden huckleberry, the njama growing here, and they're still harvesting right up to the end of October. And they also have amaranth. This is green. Some of it is going to seed, as you can see. And they have peppers. This is a habanero pepper plant, bearing a lot of fruit. It's not looking very healthy, but it's productive, I think. So they have a couple of the habanero peppers. Here's another one. And then they also have bitter leaves. This one right here is sweet bitter leaves. A sweet bitter leaf, Vernonia hymenolapsis on this bed. Let's take a closer look at the sweet bitter leaf. You see, it's going to flower. Then we can get some seeds out of this. This is Vernonia hymenolapsis, sweet bitter leaves. As we keep going, we can see an okra plant right here. This is an okra plant. From the looks of it, they've been harvesting a lot of okra. Beautiful okra flowers. There's more. And then over here is the Vernonia amygdalina, the bitter leaves. You can see they can take some stem cuttings out of the mature stems. At some point, I'm going to recommend that they do that. So this is one plant of the Vernonia amygdalina, and then over here is another plant of the Vernonia amygdalina. And guys, they had a cantaloupe patch here, which I guess they've abandoned. I've enjoyed some cantaloupes from here already. We'll harvest the cantaloupe. I've been inspired to grow cantaloupes because of this, their cantaloupe patch. They just let the cantaloupes grow wild on the grass. And from what they told me, they've been harvesting a lot of cantaloupes just from here. There's another one. We're going to peel and eat these cantaloupes. On this bed that's against the wall, we have okra. As you can see, there's okra, and then the greens. Then we have water leaves as well. And then this one here is the garden egg, the African garden egg. And look, there's a patch of pawpaw or papaya. I guess they just threw some seeds here and it's growing wild. These probably need to be thinned out. Here is another patch of cantaloupes. And this one here is the garden egg. It's the garden egg, the African garden egg. And if we keep going, we'll find more okras. Then bitter leaf. This one is that broadleaf bitter leaf. It's been harvested. Yeah. And guys, look at what they've been doing. They've been doing composting in place. You know, they just throw scraps from the kitchen right back to the garden, and then it breaks down and produces nutrients for the plants. You know, this is a cool idea. Wow, I thought this was interesting, guys. This is water leaves with white flowers. I'm used to the ones with pink flowers. So naturally, I'm going to pick the seeds. Wow. Yeah, this is a different water leaf. Hey. All of what? Yeah. The okra. Mm-hmm. Wow. And this is what I harvested. I harvested some peppers, some of the water leaf seeds. I'm gonna try those, and then some of the huckleberry seeds as well. I hope this video was interesting. I hope you learned some things as I did, and keep gardening. Bye everyone.